because we've always known him as Father Kuka. And also to welcome all our distinguished guests here present, our senators, our leaders, our spiritual fathers, our traditional rulers, our great women, our young ones, gentlemen of the press, and distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Mine is more of a thank you. Thank you for honoring us at this event. Within my family, a lot of debate went on for almost 1 year. What do we do at 60? In fact, my daughter started asking me a year ago, what are you doing at 60? For me, it is not what I'll be doing at 60, but what my being 60 will contribute to the society. And so the thought of a talk show came to my mind, and I thought, at this time in the history of our nation, we should start a discussion which I believe will not end today, because we need to continue talking on the issue of anger and anger management. Today we have become a nation where everybody is angry with the other person. You are driving on the road. The only sane driver on that road is yourself. Every other driver is insane. So the temptation is to call that driver the next driver. You are crazy. You are mad. Can't you see? So you see drivers quarreling with each other. For those of you who visit the social media, one of the avenues for our young ones to pour out their anger these days is in the social media. Internet, Facebook, or whatever. Something just happens, and you see the reactions in hundreds. Sometimes I wonder, are these young ones, or is it, all they do is just to be with social media? But somehow it has become a place for them to manage their own anger. Even at higher levels, I told my colleagues the other day, 5 governors were so angry that they walked out of the president in the Eagle Square. So, at even higher levels, you see a top government official holds a microphone because he or she is so angry, says something he should not say in a public place. And that sets off a lot of reactions. And I said, well, I think it's time we begin to draw attention to the challenge of anger. Because anger stopped Moses from getting to the promised land. Is that not true? But the irony of that was that Moses was angry, and God himself got angry and said, you will not get to the promised land. So that means there's something. Somebody said God also gets angry. That means there's something about anger, because God doesn't do anything wrong. That means there's something good about anger. Have you not been so? So, a reward for anger can be not getting to the promised land. 2-3 years ago, I visited Rwanda. They have this museum, the Genocide Museum in Rwanda. If you know the story of genocide in Rwanda, and you go to that museum, you will see what the challenge of anger is. One ethnic group against the other ethnic group. Now, it got so bad that within families, a husband in a particular ethnic group and a wife in the other ethnic group, they were so incited to be angry with each other that the man will wake up in the night and kill the wife. They lie on the same bed, but they get up. I mean, the man will get up. You know, the killing of Rwanda was more with acts, short, small acts. If you go to the museum, you will see, you hear the story. Short, small acts. The man will carry the axe and kill the wife on top of that same bed because of anger. And with that, they killed almost, within themselves, almost 4 million persons died in that Rwanda genocide. All because of anger. For those of us in the Niger Delta, we saw what anger did, causing militancy. Our youth became angry with society and took up arms. Initially, it was inter-ethnic crisis. That was a crisis in which children were thrown inside fire, all because of anger. Today we have Boko Haram, all having to do with anger. Angry with society. Angry for one reason or the other. But I believe that the more we discuss the issue of anger, the more we'll learn to manage the anger, and the more, I believe, society will benefit more. For those of us who are in government, it will be very instructive with what has been said today. Provide for the society. Even if you claim you are doing enough, people are saying you are not doing enough. So do more. Let me say, the message is very clear. For those of us who are leaders, we need to do a lot more. For those of us who are also followers, we also need to be more patient with our leaders. And I believe if we do this balancing, we'll have less crisis in society. In picking people to be here today, really, when I set out to invite people, God just brought 2 people to my mind. The Sultan and Bishop Kuka. And I had told them about this talk before I even went to Sokoto. And like Bishop Kuka said, when I was going to Sokoto, I didn't know the role I was going to play in the opening of, it's a maternal and child care clinic. Small portable one. The interesting thing about that facility, built by the Catholic Diocese in Sokoto, is that though small, what it has an outreach program in which the officials, the health workers, are able to get to the pregnant women outside what we call outstations, outreach program. Which for me is very, very critical if we are talking of maternal and child care. But the thing about that event that day, and as I sat down, looking at 2 very prominent Nigerians, 2 very vocal Nigerians, 2 well-known Nigerians, showing us how we should do it. as Nigerians, whether you have